Hi everybody, coming at you with another little minor review video here on this little brushed, or was brushed, Arrma Fury. It is a two-wheel drive. It shares a lot of the same components as this Gorgon over here, which you will see momentarily when I pop the body off. But overall, I got it because it was, since driving this truck, I've really taken to the two-wheel drives. And so I wanted another two-wheel drive truck, but I wanted a short course truck because I don't have any short course trucks in my current collection. So this kind of rounds out all the other vehicles that I have within my little collection. As you can see, some of them back here. Some of you may have seen some from some previous videos. Some of you may not have. In particular, that vehicle right there, that little baby Capra, which I will be doing a review on in the future. But until then, focus on this. So let's go ahead and get the body off of here, and I will show you some of the similarities to the Gorgon. First things first is the little body pins here. It's got a little pull tab. You just kind of pull it, slide it over. And same thing back here. Let's see if I can feel for it. It's right here. You just kind of grab that and you just kind of pull it this way. And now the body should pop right off, and there we go. So same thing, kind of pins in place. The only thing that on this that I don't like is I don't like the way these pins just kind of hook in place and they just kind of slide back and forth. So as you can see here, I mean, it's like right here it's free, and then that's locked in, and same thing back here. It just kind of slides over, and then when you slide that over, it kind of locks that pin in place. Same thing back here. But as you can see, don't hate on me, but for some of the people that are Arrma fans, as you can see, this is a Traxxas setup that I have in this vehicle. And the only reason why I did this is because, one is, as you've seen from a previous video, from other videos, these vehicles come with plastic gear servos. I can't stand plastic gear servos because anytime you get them in a bind, slice little bump or anything, it takes nothing to strip that plastic. And so local hobby shop was out of Metal Gear servos in either the Spectrum or any other brand. All they had was just basically Metal Gear servos from Traxxas. And so this is a high-speed Metal Gear servo from Traxxas. It fit right in place. It's a 25 spline. Same, so universal fit. That's why the Traxxas work. That's why I went ahead and got it. As you can see, based off the Gorgon, this vehicle came with a Spectrum 2-in-1 brushed ESC. Because I went with a different system, I had to go with one of these little Spectrum receivers. I went with this type, not the SLT type, but this type, because I just like having the little push button as opposed to having to use a bind plug to bind it. But the big deal here is the reason why I put a Traxxas brushless system in this vehicle is because I literally had this lying around. As you can see, it bolts literally right in place of the Spectrum ESC that was in here. So it was a direct bolt fit. Only thing I had to do was I have a battery adapter. It's got an EC3 connector on the other side of this that goes down into the battery case. The adapter's right here. And as you can see, the fit of this motor in here is damn near perfect. The only thing I did was I popped the cap off of it that was on the back of this thing, and the motor fit in place perfectly. I shaved this a little bit because I had a previous motor in here that just didn't really fit that well, and long and short of it was I realized that this Valenian system would fit perfectly in here. So that's why I went with it. It cost me nothing. It was a system that I had just lying around. So I stuck it in there and see if it would work. And as luck would have it, it works. And it actually runs pretty damn well in this vehicle, considering. I am running the stock battery. There's a nickel metal hydride battery sitting in the battery compartment here. It's just like the Gorgon here. So loads up from the bottom. It's a 7-cell hump pack. You know the issue with the connector and everything and all that, so I'm not going to go into that. There's lots of videos on that stuff. So that's that. Overall though, same thing, kind of the same deal. You've got your locating pins for your upper control arm on the rear to camber these tires in or out a little bit. And so I just kind of left it stock. I had adjusted them out and everything else. I didn't like the way the way it sat. It cambered the tires out a little bit, so put it back to the stock setting. It cambered them in just a little bit, and I just added a little bit of spacers to it. But that's the gist of it. Same thing, 14 millimeter hexes. On this vehicle, the tires on pavement kind of stink. And that, like I said, on here, the only cons I really have is I don't really like the way these pins work. I prefer the ones on the Gorgon, where you just kind of slide the whole thing out, and it's just got a little cable attachment under here that holds the pins on the body, as opposed to these where a bump or something like that can jar this loose and then that body can pop off. Same thing, the battery tray down here, if you have a flat pack battery, it works great, but if you have a hump pack battery like what it comes with, I just can't stand the fact that it's frustrating to try and get a battery loaded into this thing. And other than that, I mean, the stock ESC works very well for this thing. The stock motor, the stock 14-turn brush motor for this thing works extremely well. It has good punch. And like I said, the only other thing is the weak servo that it comes with, which I don't care what manufacturer you have. If you have a ready to run that is this inexpensive, it's going to have a plastic gear servo, and that plastic gear servo sucks if you're doing any kind of jumping, because the moment you jar this and you get this wheel in a bind and try and turn it, you will strip that plastic gear servo. These metal gear servos are just a lot more robust. The only reason why I'm running a Traxxas one in here is because that's all the local hobby shop here in Lafayette had. But that's all minor complaints. So please don't hate on me for this. Just understand that the reason why I did this is because, one, is it bolted up perfectly, and two, is because this was a spare system that I literally had just lying around. It was in a toolbox collecting dust. And so that's why I did it. And I figured, hey, let's see if it'll fit. It fit, and it runs great. So so it's kind of a toss-up, I mean, but I like this chassis. Like I said, this Gorgon solidified me as being a fan of Arrma. I've been a Traxxas fan. You can see here, over here. I like my crawlers, but this is kind of different. And so I kind of like these little Arrma two-wheel drives because they're really good, solid, robust vehicles. The plastics on them are very flexible, so they're less likely to break because they'll give when you incur a hard landing or a hard rollover. And that's really about the gist of it, guys. So give me a thumbs up if you like this. Please comment, and as always, happy RCing.